Let's dive right into this explainer and unravel the chilling, heavily guarded mystery of Area 51. For decades, this patch of Nevada desert has literally been the epicenter of global paranoia. It's shrouded in absolute secrecy, government denials, and, of course, whispers of extraterrestrial life. Today, we're stripping away all that conspiracy to find the declassified truth. We'll explore exactly why this facility became the most secretive base on Earth and what was really hiding behind those heavily armed gates.
To really get this, we have to start our investigation back in 1947, a year that pretty much forever changed American mythology. The US military released this truly unprecedented, shocking statement. They claimed, officially and on the record, that they had recovered a literal flying disc in New Mexico. I mean, just imagine reading the morning paper and seeing the military confirm the existence of a flying saucer. The public was, understandably, absolutely electrified.
But, well, that thrill didn't last. The very next day, the Army abruptly retracted this earth-shattering claim. They trotted out an intelligence officer with some tinfoil and rubber, insisting the debris was just a standard weather balloon. It was a dizzying reversal. And with that single, clumsy retraction, they instantly planted the seeds of the world's most enduring conspiracy theory.
It's wild to see how a rapid sequence of events over just a few weeks in 47 created a nationwide frenzy that the government scrambled to suppress. Check this out. June 24th, private pilot Kenneth Arnold sees 9 shining objects flying at impossible speeds. Early July, rancher Mac Brazel finds bizarre debris on his farm. July 8th, boom, the infamous Roswell press release. And then July 9th, the immediate retraction. Just like that, the UFO craze was born.
So, Part 1. The Cold War Secret. Groom Lake and the Need for Shadows.
To understand why this massive cover-up happened, we actually have to pivot away from flying saucers and step into the extreme paranoia of the Cold War. The military needed shadows. They needed a place where literally no one could see what they were building, and they found those shadows in places like Rachel, Nevada. 54. That is the exact population of Rachel as of 2019. It's this tiny, incredibly isolated desert village and the absolute closest human settlement to Area 51. No gas stations for miles, summer temps soaring over 40 degrees Celsius, it is the very definition of the middle of nowhere.
The sheer scale and intense isolation of this government-controlled land made a dry lakebed, called Groom Lake, the absolute perfect hiding spot for a top-secret facility in 1954. We're talking over 12,000 square kilometers of harsh terrain, right next to a restricted nuclear testing site. And the warning signs made it crystal clear. Taking even a single step past that perimeter would be met with immediate, deadly force.
Here's the thing. Area 51 wasn't built to house Martians. It was built out of pure desperation. President Eisenhower authorized Project Aquatone, which was a massive CIA directive to develop next-generation spy planes, like the legendary U-2. The US desperately needed to monitor the Soviet Union's nuclear capabilities from an altitude of 21,000 meters, way beyond the reach of enemy radar and surface-to-air missiles.
But as the US pushed aviation to its absolute limits, creating these incredibly strange-looking aircraft, the CIA faced a massive logistical nightmare. Think about it. How do you test bizarrely shaped supersonic planes without the public realizing what they're seeing? Even though they were flying super high in the atmosphere, they were still totally visible from the ground under the right conditions. To put that into perspective, when civilians looked up back then, they were used to seeing standard passenger jets cruising between, say, 10 and 20,000 meters. But test planes like the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, they were flying at impossible altitudes, maxing out at 26,000 meters and traveling at thousands of kilometers per hour. So when people saw these strange, fast-moving silver objects reflecting the sunset at those extreme heights, they naturally assumed they were looking at alien spacecraft.
And here is the ultimate irony. Declassified documents revealed that the CIA intentionally allowed these alien myths to spread. If the public believed they were seeing extraterrestrial flying saucers, well, they wouldn't suspect they were actually looking at America's most highly classified military tech. The UFO conspiracy was, quite literally, the perfect cover story for their Cold War aviation tests.
Let's move to Part 2, The Whistleblower and the Web. Bob Lazar and the Modern Hysteria.
By the late 1980s, all this carefully managed Cold War secrecy collided head-on with rogue whistleblowers. Decades of government silence had created a total vacuum, and people were eager for anyone claiming to know what was really going on out in the Nevada desert. Enter figures like Bob Lazar.
He went on massive platforms claiming he was hired to reverse engineer alien tech inside Area 51, powered by something he called Element 115, which supposedly created its own anti-gravity field. Sounded incredibly convincing at the time. But as we now know, when Russian scientists actually synthesized Element 115 in 2003, naming it Moscovium, it possessed absolutely zero anti-gravitational properties. Lazar's claims just completely fall apart under modern scientific scrutiny.
But you know, the myths had already taken on a life of their own. Decades of these compounding, unverified rumors created a massive powder keg, and in 2019, it was ignited by a single viral Facebook prank. The premise was hilarious but simple. If enough people rushed the gates at once, the military couldn't stop them, and the public could finally see the aliens. What started as an internet joke rapidly escalated into a terrifying logistical nightmare for the US military.
Seriously, over 2 million people RSVP'd to storm a classified military installation. They were detailing plans online to do the Naruto run to dodge bullets. But the harsh reality of the scorching, isolated desert definitely prevailed. Out of those 2 million, only about 6,000 people actually showed up. The highly anticipated invasion basically transformed into a peaceful camping party dubbed Alien Stock. Not a single person got inside the base. But dealing with the crowds and the heavy police presence still ended up costing the local sheriff a staggering $300,000.
Moving into Part 3, Declassified, Uncovering the Truth, from Project Mogul to modern UAPs. So, with the internet frenzy finally subsiding, let's step into the evidence room and look at what the government has actually admitted to in recent years. Let's look back at Roswell. In 1994, the military finally came clean and admitted they lied about the whole weather balloon thing. The debris Mac Brazel found in '47 was actually a highly classified acoustic surveillance device from Project Mogul, designed to detect sound waves from Soviet nuclear tests. It wasn't an alien craft, but it was top secret. The problem is, this grave admission came nearly 50 years later, which only further eroded public trust. I mean, the government did lie, which to many folks simply validated their paranoia.
But over the last decade or so, we've actually seen a massive shift in transparency. Thanks to Freedom of Information Act requests, the CIA officially acknowledged the base's existence and its exact location in 2013. Then, in 2017, they dumped literally 13 million pages of testing data online. And by 2021, thousands of documents regarding unidentified objects in the sky were officially declassified. After a lifetime of denials, the government finally cracked the door open for the public.
Which brings us to how the military is completely reframing the conversation today. Notice how they've totally abandoned the term UFO? Why? Because it carries way too much sci-fi baggage. Instead, they're using UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. This rebranding allows pilots and government officials to seriously analyze potential airborne threats without being instantly dismissed as crazy conspiracy theorists.
Today, the government readily admits there are phenomena in the sky they just cannot explain. In August 2020, the Defense Department even formed a UAP task force, acknowledging that those leaked videos from Navy pilots encountering strange objects are totally authentic. But here is the critical difference. This task force isn't looking for visitors from Mars. They are hunting for highly classified next-generation drone technology from rival nations. It's a very real, very earthly threat to national security.
Ironically, while trespassing at Area 51 will absolutely still get you thrown in jail today, the local government has fully capitalized on the myth. Back in 1996, the state of Nevada officially embraced the alien hysteria, renaming the desolate stretch of road nearby the extraterrestrial highway. They basically turned the perimeter of the world's most secret military base into a massive, highly lucrative tourist trap.
So, what does this all mean? We now have declassified answers to some of the Cold War's greatest mysteries. We know Area 51 birthed absolutely incredible aviation technology under the convenient cover of UFO sightings. But as we look at modern UAP videos and stare out at that vast, heavily guarded desert that remains strictly off-limits to this day, it leaves us with one final haunting thought. Is Area 51 simply a top-secret military base testing next-generation aircraft? Or is there something still locked behind those hangar doors that humanity just isn't ready to see?